Hi, my name is Jay Batt. I'm running for Council District A, and my ballot number is 40.
Mr. Batt, thank you so much for taking time out today.
Thank you, and you may call me Jay, please.
Okay, Jay. On behalf of the 60,000 folks in the audience and myself with NewOrleansBlack.com, we do appreciate it. We want to just use this time, this 10 minutes, as a conversation, just so people can get to know you a little better.
Sure.
Certainly, I know of you, but I'm learning stuff every day. And let's make sure that they get to learn a little bit about you. So we'll start at the beginning, if you don't mind. Let's go back to Jay Batt the baby.
Okay.
Catch us up on who Jay Batt is.
Jay Batt is a lifelong New Orleanian. Our
Okay.
family's been around here for 5 generations. I have one brother, Brian, who's an actor. And my father's been deceased for 25 years, and my mother was very active and still is in the community, although cancer has slowed her down. She's a battle that she's battling the 4th time right now.
Okay. Sorry.
Brian and I got our, I guess, community involvement and volunteerism from our grandparents and my father and mother. When we were younger, our family owned a place called Pontchartrain Beach, which was an amusement park.
Sure.
And during the weekdays, they would open up at 5 o'clock. Well, 2 or 3 days out of the year, they would open it up for what they referred to back then were crippled children. You know, that's not PC these days, but
Right.
Because back then they didn't have the accessibility for handicapped
Okay.
folks. And my brother and I, as a directive from my parents as young boys, worked out of the beach and one of those days, and they saw and made us count our blessings and did different things. My grandfather, for instance, built Storyland in City Park in honor of his father,
Wow.
which is my namesake, and gave it to City Park. So we kind of, so some families are rooted in politics, some families are rooted in business. Our family's been more rooted in volunteerism and trying to help the community, and that's where that all stemmed from.
Yeah.
And my brother does a lot on his own with fundraising all over the country for their city,
Okay.
with shows and what have you. We just love and care. I mean, after the storm, I asked my wife, I said, where do you want to live? I went and visited. The first time was our anniversary in Houston. It was October 7th. And we went out to dinner. It was the first time I'd seen my kids. And I said, where do you want to go? And she said, well, I want to go back to New Orleans. I said, that's a wonderful thing. And I said, well, where do you want to live? I said, well, maybe she might want to move to Metairie, or because we got 8 feet of water and a tree through our 2nd floor in Lakewood South.
Yes, indeed.
And she said, I said, do you want to go to the North Shore Sanctuary? She goes, no, I'll go back to our neighborhood. And my wife rebuilt our home. We moved back in it. We lived there for about a year. We bought a flooded lot 4 blocks away, and the house, was torn down, and we built the new house 4 feet up, 4 blocks away as a crow flies from where we lived, and got 8 feet of water in Lakewood South.
Good for you.
And my wife did that too. She said she started building. We back up to the Metairie Cemetery. So I'm going to go out feet first, when it's time. That's all I have to have.
But talk to us about, that's too funny, talk to us about I just want to see your vision on Lake Pontchartrain. Your family's been engaged in that for a while. What's the future of that area? What would you like to see happen over there?
Well,
Pontchartrain Park.
Okay, because I thought you were
Specific to Pontchartrain Park.
Okay, because I was going to say the West End part, which could be developed. I was working on something with Jennifer Sneed when I was on the council, where they used to have the restaurants and what have you. And I think that could be a heck of an economic gem for our city if we would develop it for fish markets and have the fleets come in and have restaurants and all that. And we did some planning there. But Pontchartrain Park, which is the Pontilly area of the city,
right.
Which isn't my district, but I know quite a bit about it because Cynthia Hedge-Morrell represents it, and she's a friend of mine. It's come back very strong. In fact, I'm on the board of Beacon of Hope, and have been since the get-go, and we've got the Beacon in Gentilly and in that area, and it's performed great. And as one of the first African-American residential developments in our country, and having a golf course right there, the growth that's been there has been fantastic. I would like to see it continue. One of the things I've learned after having served, then, gone back into the community and been a volunteer, I think I'm uniquely qualified to recognize where the government needs to get out of the way to allow the private sector and the nonprofit sector to do what needs to be done.
Well, let's talk about the private sector real quick. You are a business owner, as many of our audience is. Talk to us a little bit about, right now the City Council has just passed an ordinance of 50% of contracts coming out of City Hall must go to local business and 35% African American or DBE businesses. Talk to us about your stance on that. Is that something you support? Can we expect that support? Would you increase it, decrease it? Where are you at with that?
Well, my mindset on when as a consumer is I would like to buy local all the time.
Right.
It's just that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
you know.
Me too.
I was taught that as a young boy. That's nothing new to a lot of us New Orleanians. You know, my store's at Joseph Bank, but I'm a franchisee, so I'm local, and I hear that in my store, and I appreciate everybody's support. I think it's important, and we have a lot of talented people here.
That's right.
A lot of skillful people, and I think it's important, and it's a shame that we have to pass a law to make sure that half of the business that we have to offer goes to locals. I think
Right.
that's a shame.
Right.
It should be a natural.
Right.
But I'm very supportive. I'd like to see 100% of the locals get the business.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about streets, you got Fleming, you got Bow Brothers, you got Hard Rock, you got Barrier, all local people.
Right.
You got Carly Woodward and Landis and all these other companies that can do wonderful.
Local people that can get it done.
Yes.
You don't need to go outside.
No, and across the board.
Okay.
And partnering up, and I'm familiar with some of the DBEs that partner with these companies, and they do a phenomenal job.
Right.
I mean, it's not, as some people who don't know any better perceive it as charity, to give.
Right. Right.
It's not.
Right.
But you have to make sure that the people that are getting these jobs are certainly qualified. But we have so many qualified people here, not to take advantage of the local, I think, is a mistake.
Well, and you're absolutely right about, from a diversity perspective, a lot of the larger contractors view subcontracting opportunities in this DBE situation as a have to. I don't think they yet have acknowledged and understand the value that it can bring if they have a qualified firm that they're working with. And I think that's the responsibility of both sides.
Correct.
You
Absolutely.
know? So we can talk further about that. Talk to us about, you've been a city council person before in District A, and you're running for that again. I've always been amazed from a political perspective as to who gets in and what is that moment? What happens where, are you sitting on the couch, you're back in your community service aspect, you're running your business. What makes you say, I'm back in, I want to run? What's that thing that's lighting your fire right now?
I love the city. I love the people here. And it's in your blood. You know what it's like, Anthony. I mean, it's in your blood. This is our city. You had mentioned about race before.
Right.
Probably in the next couple hundred years, we're all going to be the same color anyway, in my opinion.
Right, I hope so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just want to see our city get fixed. The master plan which is something that I really support, and I've been on the Planning and Technical Advisory Committee for it. Too much time is spent on zoning issues on the council. And once you get the master plan and CZO locked down, you'd have 7 council people that can focus on quality of life issues like crime and blight and streets and infrastructure and libraries and schools and what have you. And can you imagine 7 of us doing that and just focusing on those kind of things? I mean, we could turn this place around. You have the school system, which is turning around to some extent right now, which has always been a problem, which would provide us with some really a good workforce. And we've been recognized all over the country with the scores. We get the crime perception and get the crime under control. We get the infrastructure. We're going to be a breeding ground for business and opportunity for people to come down here and move set roots. The Teach for America students, I've met with them.
Oh, there's so much talent here now.
I'm trying to convince a bunch of them. We have meetings to plant their roots here and get going and make this their home.
Right.
Because young people that give their time after graduating from college to do what they're doing, I think is magnificent.
Well, and beyond magnificent, I think is a value that we would have never gotten otherwise. There's the silver lining. In
Absolutely, and Katrina, and there was
That's
one
right.
for the Batt family, and there's been one for a lot of people,
That's right.
and I think seizing on that is very, very important.
I agree. Look, this has been an awesome opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. I'm sure we'll learn a whole lot more over the course of this election. If you would please just remind folks of who you are and to vote for you.
Once again, my name is Jay Batt. I'm Brian Batt's brother, the actor, and I'm running for council District A seat, and my ballot number is 40, and please vote to elect me. I love our city, and I think we can go ahead and get it fixed and move it in the right direction. We've had a lot of chances, some we've missed, but I think we can really take advantage of what we have before us right now. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I ask for your vote.